Guwahati hosted the first Sustainable Finance Working Group meeting under the G-20 finance track. The meeting was spread across 5 sessions with over 100 delegates taking part in it. It made tangible progress towards achieving the goals set by the Indian presidency. The meeting also laid a broad groundwork for the remaining 3 Sustainable Finance Working Group meetings to be held in the coming months in Udaipur, Mamallapuram and Varanasi.
The 2-day first Sustainable Finance Working Group meeting concluded in Guwahati on Friday. More than 100 delegates from G-20 nations, invitee nations and international organizations like World Bank, IMF and UNDP participated. The Indian presidency had identified 3 key priority areas for the delegates to deliberate on. And on all 3 issues, the Indian proposal got an overwhelming response from the delegates. The first day deliberation were focused on the first 2 issues: mechanism for mobilization of timely and adequate resources for climate finance, enabling finance for the sustainable development goals.
Delegates did agree to the need for stepping up and mobilizing timely and adequate climate finance. There was a lot of support, as I said, on the side events which will be organized, and delegates did express the need to focus on de-risking mechanisms for mobilizing sustainable finance and directing it to climate and green projects.
On the second and the last day, there were deliberations on the last topic: capacity building of the ecosystem for financing towards sustainable development. The delegates agreed to develop a technical assistance action plan to help the nation with skilled workforce in sustainable finance.
Key takeaway is essentially to develop a technical assistance action plan by taking into account all the existing capacity building efforts which are in place and assessing the skill gaps which are there in the capacity building field of sustainable finance, and then seeing how we can fill in those gaps and what are the solutions. So that is the work agenda for the Sustainable Finance Working Group.
The delegates agreed with the proposal put forth by the Indian presidency and provided valuable inputs to firm up the process. The most tangible takeaway from the 2-day meet is that Indian agenda was widely accepted and delegates were more than comfortable with giving further suggestion as mark of their support. This was the first meeting of the Sustainable Finance Working Group meet. The 3 more are being planned in coming months in Udaipur, Mamallapuram and Varanasi. Given the progress made in the very first meet, the Indian government is very hopeful that before the leadership summit in September in Delhi, the Sustainable Finance Working Group meet will have achieved the required result. But even the press conference was not over without a reference to the exceptionally warm welcome accorded to all the delegates. The delegates specifically asked the advisors in Finance Ministry to convey their regard in the press conference.
The issues identified by the Indian presidency concern the global south, the developing world, the real challenges they face in face of climate change and their eagerness to attain sustainable development goals. 3 more meetings are in the offing, and Indian presidency is sure that when the time for summit comes, tangible progress will be made in this aspect. With camera person Sanjeev Sharma, Ravidhman, DD India, Guwahati.